the project management mastery journey and why it's important for you to understand where you are in this journey there. My name is Guilherme and I'm a project management expert. I help professionals there to become successful project managers, to achieve better results with project management, to gain confidence, to act and to understand what they are doing, to be recognized by their peers, and of course, to deliver better results there. So first of all, this content here part is of the warm up for the project management summit. The project management summit, it's a free event I'm going to make. It's going to be 3 classes, a lot of more material content. You get a free certificate. The only thing that you need to do there is subscribe. And of course, don't forget to follow me for more content and like this video here, because once you like the video, it helps me to understand that it has value for you and that it helped you. So today we are going to talk about the project management mastery journey there. What is the project management mastery journey? Well, it's the steps I created based on my experience and also seeing that the people I teach to help them to understand where they are in their project management skills development there and to understand, of course, how they can go for the next step. To give you a very brief overview, basically, if you have zero experience in project management, zero knowledge, you start, of course, as everybody else, from scratch. That means that you can start to understand, okay, what's project management, how companies work with that, start to understand the value of project management. At the point that you start to gain some knowledge, you move here, kind of curious explorer, what I call it. That's basically the understanding. Oh, project management is an interesting area. It's a growing area that has a lot of opportunities. I'm interested on that. I kind of have an idea and I want to learn more. At the stage that you say, I want to learn more, and you continue to learn more, you move for the next step here, the learner. Still, that might be that you're not working with that. So what you start to learn books, you start to look for content, free content like this one. Maybe you attend you start to hear on certifications, and that's basically you start to acquire some knowledge there. What's important is after you acquire some knowledge, the only way that you're going to be able to keep progressing the journey to move for a level 5 or 6 is if you start to gain practice experience. Why? Because you can do a full training in project management, but if you do not apply anything on that, very likely in a couple of weeks you forget most of that and you are not able to develop the skill, because in the end the knowledge is important, but what you want to acquire knowledge to implement this in real life in practice so you can start to develop a skill. To make a very simple analogy here, think about swimming. So if you say, I'm going to understand what is swimming, how to swim, I'm going to read a book how to swim. But in the end, if you want to develop the skill, you need to enter in the pool and you need to start practicing. That is going to make your skill to develop. So to move from level the learner to be for the plateau, the practitioner plateau, you need real life experience. Is that the only journey that you're going to see? Of course not. A lot of people, they start to work with project management without barely knowing what project management is about. So think about if you already planned a big holiday trip for your family, or if you already planning a big event like a graduation party, a wedding. Those things are projects. If you already planned the implementation, like if you're working to a company, the company is launching a new product, a new service, a new store, opening a new store. All those types of things, they are projects. If you are constructing or building a new house, this is a project. All those things are projects. So it might be that you have worked in a project already without even realizing that is a project in the real world. But so that's why I'm saying sometimes people they get what I call the accidental project manager there. They start to work with project management without even knowing project management. That means that usually they can get to this level very fast. Why? Because although you might not know the knowledge or you might not know the theoretical foundation there, because you need to do it, you kind of start do things intuitively, which is again nothing wrong with that. But what's the challenge if you start to do it by yourself and you do not look for the knowledge around that? If you do that, what you're going to do, you are going to reinvent the wheel, because project management has been around, at least as a discipline there, for maybe 78 years or a bit more. But if you think the humankind, we have been doing projects from the start. The first city that we built, if you go to Rome, you see the Colosseum. That was a project. So we have been working with projects for a very long period of time. The thing is, if you are working with project, you can start to work with project as an accidental project manager there. And if you do not look for the knowledge, you are going to make the same mistakes and you are going to reinvent the. That's why I'm saying you are going to reinvent the wheel, because you are going to start to, oh, I need a tool to manage my scope. Then you are going to start, I can think I can do it. I can think I can do it. Instead of looking, okay, there's a tool called work breakdown structure. That's the good practice that you can create one that would help you to do this, and that to control your project and so on. That facilitates your life a lot. Because instead of going for trial and error for everything, you can learn based on the existing knowledge. That's quite a lot. And you build on that, which of course helps you to increase your performance. What's a challenge also when you get to that level of the plateau? A challenge is a lot of people, they get stuck in here because they think, oh, now I'm a project manager. So I'm good. I know already what I'm doing. I have experience. And they stop to learn. At the moment they start, they do that, they can stay in this plateau for years and years and years. So instead of having like 15, 10 years of experience, you have 10 times or 20 times the same year because you do not evolve. To evolve and to grow your skills, you need to have awareness. You need to review what you're doing, to learn with mistakes, to see how you can adjust and to move forward with your journey. And of course, if you keep developing yourself, you get to a point that you are a consistent performer, then you can really deliver results for a company with consistency. What happens here, a lot of times you have a lot of project managers, they work as a project managers, but they are not consistent in the type of result that they can deliver. And that's the main difference between those levels. Of course, talking about like that, there's a skill difference there. But at the point that you can deliver results with consistency there, you say, okay, now I'm already performing a high level with project management. And of course, if you keep developing yourself, you can go for a top achiever. That means that you are not only delivering good results with consistency, but that you are in a level that you can even teach other people and you can mentor other people there. Why it's important to understand, to have an idea about the project management journey? Because your development, to avoid that you get stuck in a plateau like that, it's going to be guided by your awareness. What do I mean by that? Well, if you don't know that you don't know something, if you have a blind spot, you're not going to be able to improve. So, and that's why it's very important that you say, this is, you can identify where you are, because then you can clearly define what are the steps that you can go, that you need to take to move for the other ahead. For example, I mentioned here, if you already learn project management, or if you have some basic type of knowledge, what you need to look for experience. What's also very important that I always tell people, you should not stop learning here, because might sound strange, but people also get stuck here. Why? Because sometimes they are thinking, I need to get experience, but they don't look for the experience, and they stop studying, they stop learning project management. I've heard from some people, I did a training on Udemy, and nothing against that one, if that's that you think that is what works for you. But then they did, I don't know, a 5-hour training, and they say, I know project management. What I'm going to tell you, I've been working with project management since 2009. So just by saying that, you have an idea about my age, right? I have been studying, I have probably hundreds of hours studying project management, plus thousands of hours of practicing. I'm not joking about the thousands of hours here. I'm doing that for more than 15 years. And I still continue reviewing my performance, what I'm doing, how can I improve? Because that's how you can keep yourself as a top achiever. Technology will change, the frameworks will evolve, there are going to be new tools, new ways of working. For example, if you look before COVID, pre-COVID stuff, when we talk about remote work, was much less. It was not so consistent in all the companies that we have. After COVID, you see much more global teams, remote work. This is much more present in the day-to-day from what we do with project management. So it's important that that you continue to look, to continue to develop. You can continue going into trainings, reading books, finding ways how you can grow. And it's very important that you look for experience. But you say, I'm looking for a job. Yes, you can looking for a job. It's a very important step. And I'm going to tell you, not a lot of people they take the job. They take this step to start to look for a job. Although they say they want to work with project management. Why? Because a lot of people they are afraid of failing. So why I'm saying that? Saying I want to be a project manager. I'm part of a training, but I'm afraid that I cannot do it. And it's sometimes it's not even some rational thing. It's not the person is thinking about that. I'm afraid. That's why the self awareness is so important, because you are going to find out. Okay, I need to prepare my CV and I need to start to apply for positions. Why I'm procrastinating to start to prepare my CV? The underlying thing is not that you are not having time. The underlying thing is usually, I'm afraid. What if I try and I fail? What if I try I get rejected? Which I can understand. Everybody has at some level this type of fear. But if you don't try, you're not going to achieve anything. So together with doing looking for a position, what else you can do? Oh, you can look for volunteer opportunities at PMI or any other organization. You might be able to work as a volunteer, for example, in giving an example. You can work as a volunteer at PMI. That's interesting. But for example, I've worked as a volunteer in the past with American Red Cross. And with American Red Cross, I was involved in some of the projects that they had. And in firefighting, in campaigns to start fire alarms, so organizing a campaign. So you need to organize events. An event by itself, it's a project. And there's other types of project that you can get involved. So you can see, okay, how I organize this, how I plan this. All those things are helping you to develop your project management skills there. So understanding where you are in the journey is critical. So even if you are already in, even more critical if you are in the plateau. Why? Because you don't get to be those people that are stuck in this plateau for 10 years, for 20 years. Then you are end up saying, I already know that. Or this is obvious. Those are, by the way, two phrases that kill a lot of development, that will kill a lot of your growth. Or thinking, oh, I'm already quite good in what I do. And I'm not saying that you cannot appreciate your skill, your level of skill, but awareness is always important. Because I've seen people say, I'm quite good. Well, and they are working with their team, and their team say, no, you're not. Their managers say, no, you're not. Their customers say, no, you're not. And they say, no, but I think I'm good. And of course, awareness, part of the awareness is how you see yourself, but part of your awareness is how the other world perceive you. Because in the end, if you are not able to deliver the results, you can think that you're good as much as you want, but this is not helping you to grow. And again, it's not about feeling bad, thinking you're a bad person, and so on. It's understanding, okay, what are the blind spots that I have? What are the where? What type of skills that I need to grow? This is quite important. And of course, as part of the Project Management Summit, to help you to develop and to understand a bit more about the Project Management Mastery Journey, I'm going to give you a self-assessment, which is a free self-assessment there. I evolved a bit also with my self-assessment. So it's 12 questions to help you to map where you are, to help you to reflect on your awareness, and to help you to identify where you are in the project management mastery journey. Of course, during the project management summit, I'm also going to explain in more details the skills that you need to do it. I'm going to talk about the depth of the skill, how you develop yourself. I'm going to talk about the different types of skills that you need, how you can develop it. But at the first stage, what you need right now is to understand, okay, this is the journey where I am. Oh, I'm here. I'm the learner. Or I have already some experience with project management. Maybe you're working as a project support officer. Maybe you're working as a project coordinator. Maybe you're working as an assistant project manager. So if you are here, you are in a very good position to develop your career. But what's going to be important? How you behave and what kind of actions that you're going to take. Because you're going to need to awareness, okay, understand where I am, what skills I have, what are skills I still need to develop, and what skills I have and I need to go deeper into the development of this skill. Just to give you an idea when I mean deeper the development of skill, it's like if you are trying to play a guitar. If you can play one song in the guitar, you have some level of skill. If you are going to perform in a professional concert, you have a different level of skill. That's for all the skills that you have with project management is exactly the same. So what you need to understand where you are, the skills that you have, and how you're going to progress. That's also why, as part of the project management summit, I'm also going to give you this self-assessment, but I'm going to give you what I call the growth radar. This is a complete assessment in the different skills that you are going to need. So in the growth assessment, there's plus the 60 type of questions to assess your skill in different areas like finance, conflict management, communication. And with your growth assessor, you're going to get a graph to map where you are. So this is very important for you to understand because then you're going to map where you are in the journey. So depending where you are in the journey, it makes very clear, okay, which kind of step that you need to have. And I'm going to need to give you another tool to map the skills that you need. So you say, I'm here, for example, or I'm here. I'm in the plateau. What skills are you lacking? How you can develop those skills. And I'm going to give you some direction how you can develop your skills. But it's very important that you understand where you are in the journey. Because based on where you are, you can kind of understand the actions that you need to take. For example, if you are in the learner stage, what are the actions that you need to take? First, start looking for a position if you want to work with project management, or you start to gain some experience with projects. Gaining some experience with project can be looking for projects in your company, can be volunteer activities, PMI, or any other organization there, can be understanding what type of projects that you have in your personal life. You have a big event coming up. Sometimes people they say, I'm going to get married. So your marriage, it's a big event. You can gain experience with project management by organizing your marriage. And of course, I don't mean that you need to do everything by yourself. But if you understand that, you can apply the project management tools and techniques to organize your marriage, to have it less stressful and to have it more successful. That for you. Or you can look for different ways. I've just mentioned a big holiday for you and for your family. Or even if you say, but I'm single. Well, you can organize a big holiday. For example, when more than 10 years ago, I decided to travel with my friends. I was living in Brazil. I traveled with my friends to Vietnam and Thailand. So we did like a 1 month trip. So that was a big event that we had to organize because we had to think, okay, where we are going, what are the requirements what kind of visas that we need to get, what kind of insurance that we need to get. Then you think about, okay, which cities that we are going to visit, how we are going to move from one city to another, buy tickets and so on. That's a trip that you need to plan. That's a project. And that's a very good way to start to organize yourself and to try your skills. So that's a very good way to gain experience with that. Because once you start to have some level of experience, you can apply the knowledge and you can start to develop the skills that you need there. So my suggestion for you is the following. If you have not done it yet, subscribe for the Project Management Summit. It's free. I'm going to share the self-assessment here few days before the event. And why I'm going to share few days before the event? Because I want you to do that few days before the event because you're going to have this fresh into your mind. So 3 days before the project management summit start, I'm going to share it to you by email, and I'm going to share the link also in the WhatsApp group for you to do the self-assessment. So it's very important that you do the self-assessment, you locate where you are, and you are free to interact with me, meaning send by mail, okay, this is where I am right now. Send me a direct message on Instagram, this is where I am right now. We can chat about that. And then we understand what are your next steps. So you get a preparation to do for the project management summit. That's already is going to help you, okay, where I am in my journey. And then also it helps you to gain visibility in which are the next steps that you need to take there. So if you like the content, don't forget to like it and share it because that helps my channel to grow on YouTube. That helps more people learning about how to develop their skills in project management. If you are working with someone and you think they need to develop their project management skills, because in the end, project management it's a skill that you're going to use in any type of industry. It's one of the top skills to be a manager, and it's one of the professions growing. If you look for data from Indeed, LinkedIn, World Economic Forum there, and of course, Project Management Institute. So it's a type of skill that's going to be required anywhere because project management teach you how to handle complexity there. And of course, don't forget to follow me for more content. So hopefully I'm going to see you during the Project Management Summit. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you and see you soon. Bye.